Hey, what's going on, YouTube? My name is Mike, coming to you from Health and Wealth. Thanks for joining me today on another episode of our weekly How Are We Doing? I should come up with a name for these things, but for the last 2 days, I've been sitting here watching MSTY. I've been watching Dividend and kind of freaking out a little bit over here. What's going on with these two? Why is it going down? And, to be honest with you, I haven't been freaking out really at all because I'm an income investor. I put my money in. I get a monthly payment from these ETFs, and I'm satisfied with that. Of course, we want our ETFs to have good performance. So, there's always that thought. But today's episode, I want to go over how MSTY is doing so far this week. We are officially on Tuesday, July the 30th. It is approximately 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just on a break here at work. So I want to get this in pretty quick. So if you can stick around, give me a like, a subscribe, and a high five, comment. Why not, right? So far, I'll flash the number up on the screen. 376 of you have chosen to annihilate that subscribe button. So thank you very much to you. The rest of you, maybe you'll be next. Appreciate you too. Thanks for being here. So let's talk about MSTY. So again, MSTY is an ETF from a company called Yieldmax. I'll go ahead and put Yieldmax's link in the first comment below here if you want to take a look at the website that I'm looking at. And I just wanted to take a look at how MSTY is doing. All right, so let's go ahead down here. It says its current distribution rate is 92%. I can definitely handle 92% a year for sure. I think that might be a little much, and a lot of people call it a yield trap, and it definitely could be for sure. Now, just want to share that I don't want to provide any real advice to you because I have no financial background. I'm just a guy who works from my home and in nothing to do with finances at all, right? So this is just my personal journey. I'm trying to get 6 pillars of income from these ETFs to make $3,000 Canadian a month. And then from there, the world is our oyster. And so I hope you follow along with that. So if I scroll down here, you can take a look at MSTY's last 4 and only 4 distributions, averaging $3 if you took all of those and divided them by 4, averaging about $3 a month, which is very incredible. Definitely pays the bills for sure if you have enough shares in there. As of right now, I don't. This is actually pillar number 2. And so my distributions this month from Dividend and from MSTY and my 1 share of Coney are all going to go straight to MSTY here. So I'll keep rolling down the screen here, and we'll take a look to see how it's doing here, okay? So I'll have this on the screen, but I do want to kind of flash over to Mr. stock as well right now and take a look at the 1-day chart for Mr. So it's currently $1,600 and $1,605, so $1,605. It has had a daily drop here of almost 5%, which is an incredibly big number, $76. If I take a look at the 5-day chart, we're looking at an 8% drop. But the 1-month chart here, we have a 17% increase, which is incredible. The 6-month chart, even better. And you can see here we're doing pretty well as a company over at MicroStrategy, which owns 1% of Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin climbs, so does Mr. the stock symbol for MicroStrategy. Let's go back to our 1-day chart here. So down 4.54% so far. We're getting close to the end of the trading day here. If you take a look at MSTY as well on the 1-day chart, you'll notice it's currently down 3%. Now, a lot of people say you don't want to invest in Yieldmax because, we get a little bit of upside, but all of the downside. So far today, this is proving that is not true. So Mr. was down almost 5% and MSTY is down 3.47%. So not quite the same, but we do experience some downside for sure. For sure. But the stock price now dipping under $30 for the first time in a while, right? First time in a while here. This morning it was definitely up there above $30. But it has a 4-month high of 40. Where is it here? 44.90, and then it has a 4-month low of 24.50. $1.59. Personally, just personally, I hope it gets down there again because I'm in the accumulation phase of give me more shares, spending my hard-earned money from work on buying more shares of MSTY. I always like buying when there's a discount. As Eric says on his YouTube channel, buying the wave, getting into the wave. So right now the wave's going down. I want to catch it when the wave's going up. And so come the ex-dividend date, that number should drop by the distribution that's going to be provided from MSTY itself. Let's take a look at Yieldmax's website here. I have 3 things I want to show you. The first one is actually on line number 3 here. And so you can see that we have a synthetic option of $1,550. This is expiring on August the 16th, so approximately 17 days away from now. The goal here with synthetic options is, fingers crossed, that the stock price of the underlying stock is above the synthetic option. If it's above, then we make money on that synthetic option. Everybody say it with me. Synthetic option. Thank you. Now, if it's below, then we aren't going to make any money on that. And usually what the fund managers at Yieldmax do will roll that synthetic option to a further date so that we give ourselves a chance to make some money on the synthetic option. We currently have, let's just take a look here, 2 calls. Yes, 2 calls. Both ending this Friday. So we got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday coming up. Let's start with the lower of the 2, so 1775. So when it comes to the weekly calls, we don't want the underlying stock to be above the weekly calls because then we would have to purchase those shares. So anything under 1775 is good. Again, let me go to the Mr. Stock today, 1604. Now, let's knock on some wood here. Bitcoin can fly either way, right? But 1608, there we go, just jump $4. 1608, and our call is at 1775, so that's $167 above. So it would have to climb quite a bit. Now, if Mr. climbed quite a bit, like I just mentioned, then so would our share price. Okay. The other one is $1,800, and you can see there's 125 positions in that. And again, same thing. So as long as Mr. stays below 1775, we make money on our weekly calls. If it's above, then the fund managers are either going to have to roll these calls to next week or the week after, or they're going to have to pay money to close these options. Now, that doesn't make us money. So for the first 3 weeks of this month, that's what happened. And so for us here as MSTY shareholders, we weren't super happy with the MSTY fund managers because they kept making their strike prices so close to the underlying stock of Mr. or MicroStrategies. And so we ended up losing some money in our weekly calls over the first 3 weeks. So the goal again is, we hope, fingers crossed, that the underlying stock doesn't surpass 1775 before this Friday at closing. If it does, then we roll with the punches, and we kind of rely on the fund managers to make the right decision there. The reason I like investing in Yieldmax is because I don't have to do these cover calls or synthetic options myself. I don't personally have the capital to spend this much money. And I know a lot of us are the same way. So for me, I like collecting my monthly dividend at the beginning of the month. I think this month is going to be on the 9th of August is when our dividend comes out. For me in Canada, and for any of my 10% of my Canadian viewers here, we don't get ours until the 12th of August because it takes a little bit of time for it to roll through our systems, our brokerages, me with Questrade, because they are taking off the 15% withholding tax if you have it in a cash account or a TFSA. If you have it in an RRSP, you're not taxed at all until you take that money out at retirement. If you enjoyed this video, I made an identical video, but with NVIDIA. I'm going to go ahead and post that right over here, right here. So check that out. I've also included the Meet MSTY video here. So if you want to go over and review MSTY from the beginning, I've included that there as well. Click on both, hit the subscribe, give me a high five and a comment. I love you, I appreciate you, and I hope that I get to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now. That was good.